Hey everybody, I'm trying something new. I'm going to try going live on YouTube and then kind of um, saving the video and putting it up on other things. I was having issues yesterday with uploading. Again, hi, Richard Mariello. Category mistake, living with anxiety, day 4. Not 8, 4. Um, Again, I'm trying to talk day to day, try to figure out what's working for me, what's not working for me, what's working for others. Um, Sometimes, sometimes I'll get a good 2, 3 hours where the stress of the world isn't beating me down. Last night I had a good hour and a half where I felt calm, which is great. As soon as I calmed down, what's funny is I got tired. Um, Maybe that's part of my sleeping issue is I stress out too much, can't sleep. Who knows? Um, Yesterday, after I did everything, my father-in-law came over and he had factory reset his phone. And for some reason, I was the guy he came to. Why? Because he thought I could fix it. So of course I had because I was so nervous when I set up his phone originally that he was going to do something silly. So I backed up everything to the cloud, thank God, and I got most of his stuff back. But then 10 minutes after he left, he called because he forgot the password that we had just set up. I don't get it. I don't know how it happened. It just did. So went over there, got rid of the password. I thought it'd be good, not so good. Then today went and helped him again. Then my wife's mother called and she forgot to take the pictures off her old computer, put on her new computer. So I went and grabbed her computer today to try to help her with that. And I also, like I talked about yesterday, I'm working on a website development for my wife's alumni band that she's part of. And this is what I talked about yesterday, and I think it's very true for me. Is I stay busy. I don't feel like I'm under stress. I am under stress. I just don't feel it as bad. I know I'm under stress because this right here and other things going on in my body. I know that there's stuff going on. Now, I have two options. Two options are this. I can stop being stupid busy doing things that I don't need to do for other people who I don't need to do them for, or I can overwhelm myself and just bury myself. Um, for years, I've overwhelmed myself and buried myself. And I think last night, mentally, I kind of came to the conclusion that that's not a good idea. Me doing that is not the best thing for me to do. And it hasn't been for a long time, but I keep doing it. So this week, this weekend, I'm going to start making a list of what's important, what's not important, what are priorities, what are things that I have to do, what are things that I need to do to succeed as a human being. Okay. Uh, Doing a website in 2 days is not going to help me succeed as a human being. Uh, Fixing an old computer for somebody who doesn't even use it the day that they call is not going to help me as a human being. Prioritizing things that are important, beneficial to me over things, I just prioritize everything. I don't, I don't, I don't know how to say no. If you know me long enough, you know that I have a hard time with the word no when it comes to things that I think are important. Now, if you're one of my kids or one of my students, you'd be like, God, he said no all the time. A little different. Hey, Mr. M, can I not turn in my homework today because I forgot to do it? No. Hey, Dad, can I have $1,000? No. Hey, Dad, someone died in the family. Can I get a ride up from Pennsylvania? Absolutely. That's different. See how there's a yes and a no there. And even then, I do it a lot. I spend a lot of time thinking that what I'm doing is important when it's not as important as it's more important to me mentally than it is to the person I'm helping, which I've got to learn how to control. That's one thing I'm working on. Now, another thing I've realized is this video series, my podcast, uh, Facebook, Instagram, all these TikTok, all of them. Um, I have so much anxiety when I post something because I post things and I talk about people who are in my life. I've talked about Haley Brown, one of my students. or I call her Hey Hey or HB in one of my podcasts. Her name's Haley Brown. Okay, she knows who she is. Um, and the thing about Haley and Allison and Nick and all these kids is I saw them as a teacher, as a person, father person, a father. Okay, I see Piper and Joelle and all these people. I saw them as my kids, my students, but my kids. Um, and I still follow them and what they're doing in their life today because they're that important to me. Now, the problem is when I talk about them on these things, I forget that some of them are still kids, 16, 17, 18, 19. They're still young. Uh, I could say something that maybe I saw that I experienced with them that they didn't see the same way. Like Haley, she, you know, I talked about how, one of the first days of school, she basically said, You're not teaching me anything. You kind of suck. Go away. You're just like everybody else. You're going to bail. Okay. I didn't ask her, Hey, Haley, can I talk about this to the world? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say it at all. I also know that, I've talked about, I give out tests and the kids would fail and they'd be all upset. And it's not that it didn't bring me joy to fail these kids. I mean, I've had kids who get 13s. Okay. It doesn't bring me joy. What it brings me though is, it does bring me purpose. Going to a kid, to a student, to an adult, anybody who doesn't know something, but they think they know it. Hey, I know geography. Hey, I know science. Hey, I know this. And it's not bringing them down a peg, but it's showing them that no one, no one knows everything. And to come to anybody and say, Hey, I know more than you, you're setting yourself up to prove it. Now, Haley, Allison, Piper, none of them went to me and said, Hey, Mr. M, I know everything. But they did, they came to me in a way where I thought to myself, these guys, these guys need to understand that the world is bigger than New Hampshire, Maine, New England, America. Uh, the world is a big place, and we need to understand it. The day I gave the test, the day I gave the test, the principal came to me literally an hour after the test and said, Why did you do that? And I kind of told her, I said, Hey, here's the plan. I'm going to give them the test. Throughout the year, we're going to learn about it. And then at the end of the year, they're going to take the same test and they're all going to do great. She hated that answer so much. I think she hated it because she didn't know me. I mean, this was like my first full year teaching at this school, and I had no track record. There was nothing to show that I knew what I was doing. It was me saying I knew more than her, and she'd been doing it for 20 years. Now, it worked. Kids did well. The whole year went well. COVID happened. We won't go there. But the point is, I showed the students I knew more than them, but then the principal came to me and said, Hey, you say you know more than me, prove it. Thankfully, I was able to prove it. But if I didn't, I'd have to be like, okay. But here's my anxiety about all this. I've never gone to Haley or to Nick or to Allison or to Piper or to Joelle or to Charlotte or to Aunt Layla or Lila or Marissa and never said, Hey guys, can I talk about you online? Never. I never thought of that. I think I did to Haley once, but that's about it. And am I allowed to? I mean, they haven't said anything, and a lot of them have listened to or watched, and I'm assuming if I've offended them, they would have told me by now. But they haven't, so I'm assuming I'm okay. But this is the sort of stuff I worry about every day. I worry that I'm going to say something either online, in a grocery store, at a job, um, in the drive-through, at a doctor's appointment, that I'm going to offend somebody and push them to where they not only don't respect me anymore, but they don't want to help me anymore. And if I need the help, it's kind of like, yeah. I said this to my therapist when I first started seeing her. I was like, Hey, I don't believe anything you do. I think mostly what you do is useless, and I think it's stupid. Now she could have taken this. And, okay, we don't need to see each other. Then go away. She didn't. She said, "Listen." She was pretty blunt. She said, "Listen, listen. I don't really care what you think. You need help. I'm here to help you. You're going to show up, and we're going to work through this, like it or not." I didn't like it for a long time. I still don't always like it, um, but I do it. Why do I do it? Because I realize I don't know everything about what's going on in my skull. Okay. I don't know what's going on in my skull or my body or my mind or my soul. I don't know a lot of what's going on. And if someone else does, I want their opinion, their knowledge, their help. Um, I found small things at work, and I don't know if they work long term because I've only been trying them for a couple days, but I'm trying. Okay. Now, another thing I struggle with, and I've kind of worked through is as I understand it better, not that I fixed it, is my eating habits. So I will eat nothing the whole day if I'm stressed, if I have a lot of anxiety. I'll eat nothing all day. And if I do, I'll grab a bag of Skittles and a Red Bull and I'll be like, oh my God, that's my breakfast, my lunch. Look at all the calories I just ate. When there was no calories in it all but junk. Or I'll go and get junk food at the grocery store and I'll mow it all down at once, like a whole bunch at once, and then I won't eat for hours or the rest of the day. And I'll be like, oh well, I ate. And I do that because when I'm stressed, I crave sugar, 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 sugar. And I feel like, oh, if I'm craving sugar, I probably need caffeine because the sugar is going to give me a drop and I'm going to lose energy and I need the caffeine to keep me up. I don't need either, but I do it. Um, for a while, I did like this no sugar at all diet. It was nothing. It was the carnivore diet. All I did was eat meat and cheese and eggs, pretty much. Okay. Problem is, I had a medical issue right toward in the middle of it. I had been feeling better, but I passed out and well, yeah, knocked my head unconscious a little bit. And since then, I haven't done it because I've been a little worried about what am I doing. Problem is I went right back into the bad habits of I'm stressed. Let me eat a bag of Skittles and a Red Bull. That's not good for you. Or I'm stressed. Let me go around the house and eat a bag of chips, or um, eat a piece of chocolate or eat this or eat nothing healthy. I could make myself a healthy lunch. I could eat a healthy lunch. I don't do it. Why? Because I'm stressed and I just want something I can grab that gives me that instant gratification that supposedly will make me feel better. It doesn't make me feel better. I feel guilty every time I do it. For that second I'm eating it, I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, all of us have had it. You eat a good ice cream or a good piece of chocolate or good food, and you're like, you put your head back and you're just like, yes, thank you. Um, I have that when I eat this junk food. The problem, of course, is it's instant gratification that doesn't last a long time. Okay. And I struggle with that. I struggle with wanting instant gratification instead of the long term gain. Um, when I go on vacation with my wife, we went on a cruise, and every day I woke up and I was stressed. Why was I stressed? Because I wanted my wife to have instant gratification the whole day. I thought that's what she expected. She didn't look at the cruise as a day by day, a long term experience. I thought she looked at it as today I want to be happy with A, B, and C. Cruises, vacations, family outings, family adventures, whatever you want to call them, they're not instant gratification. And I struggle with that. I know people who do cruises and vacations, and they talk about the whole trip. I look at a vacation, a trip, an outing, like minute by minute, hour by hour. I don't do it as Monday was a great day, or Tuesday, or the trip was great because look at all the extra things we did or all the fun we had. I look at it as we didn't get to go here because of this, and it ruined the whole trip because this hour of this day was ruined. So the whole trip wasn't worth it. I can't believe. And then I get stressed out and I get anxious and I feel like I'm failing everybody. Um, So that's stuff I deal with. Now, I don't know if this format works. I've had people comment saying that they like it. Um, and I'm anxious about it because I don't want to I don't want to upset people. I don't want people to think, oh my God, I'm babbling every day about what's bothering me and how I fix what do you do and why can't I do it? I'm not making this video or this conversation, I'm making it for me. Okay. And I know others watch it and I've had comments and I've had texts and emails. Great. I'm having a conversation with myself, with others who listen, and they email me and they text me and they tell me it's great, or, you know, all the different things they tell me, or they tell me, hey, you're kind of babbling on. And you're right, I am. I babble to process my thoughts. Some people might journal, some people might play a video game, some people might do other things. When I'm stressed, when I have a lot of anxiety, I talk. I talk fast, I talk about random things, and normally, not always, normally there's shreds of good things in there. And that's what I go for every day. Is it's like when I do these 20 to 30-minute videos, am I getting some snippets of good things? Um, Haley, Allison, any of you guys, when you guys watch this, because I know you will, because you've been messaging me and thank you. Um, am I making sense to anyone else, or is it just me babbling? And if it's just me babbling, that's great. At least I'm feeling better about myself. I'm taking 30 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it is, and I'm just spewing off things in my mind. Um, I don't think my wife watches this. I think that's okay. I don't need her to watch this because I think she's letting me do this to kind of figure out what's going on in here. I also know that my children really don't watch it. Why don't they watch it? Because I think they just don't care, which is fine. They do things I don't care about, I guess, or I don't participate in fully, and that's again okay. I don't care. They're okay. They need to be them. They need to be adults. They need to do what they need to do. What I do care is if there's anyone out there that I'm making sense to, let me know. If there's anyone out there that says, "Hey, I go through that too," let me know. Um, I'm not saying I'm going to fix you. I'm not saying you're going to fix me, but um, no one should go through what I'm going through, you're going through alone. No one should have to deal with um, the world pummeling their brain and their soul and their spirit every day alone. Um, we're not meant to be isolated creatures. Everyone, of course, discovered that between 2020 and 2023 when everyone was isolated. And what people discovered is we're really good at being with others. We're really good mentally when we're around people every day. But when we do this, when we talk to people this way, or we don't talk to people at all, we don't go outside the house, we don't communicate for real. Okay. Um, it wears us down, it slows us down, it breaks down our mental stability. Even something as simple as masks or social distancing or how many people in a building, all of that didn't help us. What it did was it brought animosity, it brought anger, frustration. Um, it brought people said, well, Fauci said don't wear masks, and he says do wear masks. Which time do we believe him? Or social distancing? How do we know how far a sneeze molecule goes? And the vaccine is going to cause myocarditis, but only if you're in this age group. So don't worry about it if you're older. And well, no, but the vaccine also saves people. These were arguments people had every day, all the time. I had students who disagreed on it. I had people who literally, I had teenagers who couldn't get along because of what social media, the news, their parents, um, all told them. And I had a student when we went away for 2 weeks to stop the spread. I had a student say this is going to be bigger, and I'm like, listen, Trafton. We're Trafton. His name was Trafton. I'm like, 2 weeks will be done. This is not a big deal. It's just a cold. It's not a big deal. Now, of course, what happened? Italy goes crazy. Brazil goes crazy. Millions of people died. Why did they die? Because most of them were older. Um, And America, oh my God, we're all going to die. So we close school Friday the 13th, March 13th, and we don't reopen till the fall. I was wrong. It was not 2 weeks. Uh, do I think we needed to shut down the school for longer than 2 weeks? No. At the time, we didn't know what it was. In my mind, it was cold. People were getting usually older or had immune problems or whatever. But what's funny is when we had class virtually after those 2 weeks, we kept going virtual. Um, every day we did class. I'm like, you know what? Next week we'll be back in class. And then the poor kids who graduated that year from 8th grade, Haley was one of them, and Piper and Joelle. Their graduation was absolutely horrible. It was not what they deserved. Um, and they lost out, along with other kids I know, lost out on the middle school graduation, the high school setup, that whole system they lost out on. And what's funny in my mind, was most of the COVID issues were people having anxiety over something they couldn't control. Now, we know how to control the flu. We have a vaccine. We know how to control chickenpox, the measles, all this other stuff because we've made up miracle drugs that help it. And they're like, well, the COVID vaccine helps with COVID. It doesn't stop. It helps COVID. It's fine. Whatever. I'm not getting in a political debate about COVID. But that's what was stressing people out. It had nothing to do with, oh, there's people dying. It was, we don't know what this is. We don't know how it spreads. We don't know anything about it. What are we going to do? So we shut the school down. And those kids had to deal with anxiety every day. I had kids whose parents were nurses and doctors who weren't sure if their parents would come home because they could get COVID and die because the news was talking about it so much. We built a generation in the last 5 years to have anxiety over COVID, to have anxiety over sickness, to have anxiety over political things. I mean, half the world thinks Trump is going to blow up the entire planet, and the other half thinks he's, the second coming of Jesus Christ. He's neither. He's a man. He's a person who thinks he's doing the right thing, and some people agree with him. He's not going to bring the world down with an atomic, infusion of death, and he's not going to come save us all from our sins, okay? He's just a guy who thinks he's doing the right thing. You don't have to agree with him, but he's just a guy, okay? We don't need anxiety over who's running the world because it doesn't matter. You're going to wake up tomorrow, and if you have a job, you're going to go to the job. If you have school, you're going to go to school, and you're going to keep living your life. Okay, that's the way the world works. Okay, unless you're a billionaire or some big guy that has lots of things on his mind. One, you're probably not watching this podcast, but two, you can pay your way out of this issue. You can fix this problem really easily. You can take your jet and go somewhere else. Okay. I don't have a jet. I wake up every day and I do what I can do. And that's what we're doing from now on. That's what I'm going to do from now on. We're just going to survive. We're going to thrive. We're going to survive. We're going to do what we need to do. And tomorrow we're going to do it again. Tomorrow might be a good day. Tomorrow might be a bad day. But it's going to be a day. It's going to end in Y. And if you're in New England, the weather's probably going to be crappy. And if you're in the rest of the world, it's probably going to be nice weather. The news is going to say lots of negative things or positive things, depending on what part of the news it is. And you're going to keep going. That's what we do. That's why we do. That's how we do. So my anxiety today, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to start doing this because I think it's good for me. It's going to be good for you. It's about a 6. Now, it was higher this morning. What I did was I listened to an audiobook. I did some stuff physically. I went to my wife's mother's house and helped her dad out. Did a few things with the dogs, and it helped calm me down a little bit. Now I'm going to go vacuum the living room and the floor, and I'm going to clean up a little bit. I pre-made dinner stuff, so dinner's in the fridge, kind of marinating. So I've got some stuff done. Is it perfect? No. I talked to my daughter. She's having a stress today. I care about her. I told her, hey, if you can't come to dinner, it's okay. If you want to come to dinner, we're here to support you. We'll be do whatever we need to do. Okay. Because that's what we do. I can't not support my children if they're trying to be better. So that's it. All right. So that's for me for today. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Thank you for joining me.